Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for coming back. And we're going to do astrology class 35. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And we've already gone over basically all the basics. And, you know, signs, houses, planets, transits, aspects, all sorts of things like that. So if you're just joining us, please hop on there's a playlist little thing at the end of this video or down in the description box, or go to my icon and go to my channel page and click on playlist and start with intro or lesson 1 for sure. So what we're doing now is basically just doing a real roundup of all these. There's all these other things that just don't fit right into the all those categories. So I'm going to do a bunch of odd things here and there, and kind of to help you increase your astrology vocabulary, basically. So so we're going to be doing that for the next few classes. Okay. So I realized in the last class, I went over the nodes and how the eclipses are formed, but I didn't talk about what the meaning of an eclipse has on you personally, or really the collective as a whole. Sorry about that. I forgot to check for the clock before I started this. So eclipses happen, they really do take into effect, probably about 6 months they're in effect for. So you're going to feel them for a really long time. But you're going to see them more out in the collective or society. It's also called mundane astrology when you're looking at the greater outer world there. But of course, check and see if you've got any, your personal hot spots, your sun, moon, any of your planets, or your rising sign, midheaven, any of your angles, that kind of things. Just be sure to know that that eclipse is probably going to affect you personally. So eclipses are kind of known for being a time of a lot of instability right around the eclipses. So I think the best way to talk about it a little bit more is to go back to that drawing, and we'll do that. So hang on. Okay, so we know the moon is coming around here for the solar eclipse, and that's and that three-dimensional moon though is actually going to block the rays of the sun coming to the earth. So that's why we're always looking from the earth. And what this is meaning astrologically or symbolically is that our conscious thoughts, remember our sun is what we're thinking about every day basically, is being blocked by our emotional body from our view here on earth, or from our bodies here on earth. So that's why eclipses are known for being so unstable, is that we can't even think straight. The moon, our emotional body, is blocking all that conscious thought. So that can lead to some kind of crazy thinking here. But as that moon moves around its orbit, we know that it comes back around here. And when it gets directly lined up with the earth and the sun again, but this time for the lunar eclipse, the sun is coming down and the earth is blocking or creating shadow onto the moon. So this is a time, of course, when we're seeing more of the shadow side of our thinking. So I'm sure you all are aware of this idea of the shadow and we're not, it's in the shadow, so we don't know about it. It's unconscious to us. So the lunar eclipse, because it's blocking out our emotions, this is a good time in a weird way to kind of be able to find out what those shadow things are that might be blocking you from love, getting good jobs, making money, that there's this shadow kind of stuff. And then as soon as that moon moves away, we can start to get some more clarity. But use that lunar eclipse as a time to think about, what is it? Why am I being blocked? It's going to become, through your emotions, that's going to become more obvious to you. And it's a great time too, things that are like, your anger towards others, or guilt about something you've done in the past that you've maybe been, that's in your shadow, all right, and you don't know, why, I'm just so angry about this and I can't let go of it, or, I feel so bad I did this, but you may not even be aware of it because it's in that shadow. The other thing that's great about eclipses is if you do the work, and when it moves off, and especially when you get through with that 6-month period of investigating and learning about it, you can start out with a clean slate. I mean, because the moon in this case is occluded, I love that word, or blocked, eclipsed by the shadow of the earth, we can really make an end to that. And the same thing with the solar eclipse too. Because of that complete blockage, we can really get in there and let go of things and move on. Okay, another pause. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is a thing called mutual reception. And I think it's just easier to show it to you instead of trying to describe it out there in the air. So what mutual reception is let's just say that you've got the sun in Aries, okay? That's in transit or in your natal chart. And you've got Mars in Leo. Now, some of you may already be going, oh, I think I know what she's going for here. So, and if you're having any sort of difficulty with either one of these planets or the aspect itself or something like that, what you can do is notice that Mars is in Leo, which is ruled by the sun, right? And the sun is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. And what this sets up in this mutual reception is kind of an understanding, a really ability to communicate and that kind of thing. So, so just be aware of that. If you look at your chart and you see something that's like, ooh, am I going to have trouble with that? If there is a mutual reception, maybe not so much. But let's do another example. Let's go ahead and put Mars in Capricorn, and then let's put Saturn in Aries, okay? So same kind of thing. We're going for a mutual reception here just to show that. So Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Aries is ruled by Mars. So even though, notice that these are both cardinal signs, so that means there's a square going on there. And Mars and Saturn, you kind of got your foot on the brake and your foot on the accelerator. That can be kind of difficult for sure. But if you've got this mutual reception going on, that's going to make a sort of mitigating factors to this kind of difficult transit or aspect in your chart. Okay, so that's mutual reception. And then kind of in relationship to that, you'll hear planets are deposited as a dispositor, or they're to a certain planet, or this planet is being disposited by another planet. And and what that means is, let's just say, let's put Saturn over here in Scorpio. Okay, that sounds like a fun combination, right? So, and say you're having trouble with that in your chart. How are you going to get into this house and start to work with that Saturn energy? Because you want to use all the energy you have in your chart the best you can. Well, what rules Scorpio? Pluto. And there's a bunch of us out there who have Pluto and Leo. So let's just say we've got Pluto and Leo. So the energy you want to work with to get into this house is this Pluto and Leo. I heard one astrologer described it as, to get the key to get into the house, you need to go to the ruler of the house. So what this is saying to me, if I saw this in someone's chart, I would say, you know what? You really need to look at having more fun. I mean, Leo is, kind of one of the sillier signs in the zodiac for sure. And just not take things so seriously. Just let yourself kind of get out there and kind of have some fun with it. This Saturn in Scorpio, way too serious, right? So that's what I mean about starting to use that dispositor to help you with a planet that may be in that particular sign. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about in this little class is called the Galactic Center. All right, so the Galactic Center, and I'm just going to use this crystal here, is, it's the point out there in the galaxy that our solar system and everything in the galaxy is whirling around that galactic center. And it's about 26 to 27 degrees. It's big in Sagittarius. So if you're a person, if you have anything from 25 to 0 Capricorn in particular, you are going to be affected by this. You're going to be aware of this whether you're conscious of it or not. So what does the Galactic Center do for a person? Well, it gives you a lot more intuition, almost gives you a psychic bent, but on a very deep, deep, deep level. That's that gut feeling. So I heard someone say anybody who has something in their chart that relates to this Galactic Center, they're going to be, they can see around the corner to what's coming. So if you're the kind of person, you just kind of get a vibe, it's like, I don't want to go out tonight, or I want to take the surface streets instead of the interstate, something like that. Go with that feeling. I would trust it. And then I just wanted to do a quick review, because I did mention it in that last one. But just remember, so this Galactic Center is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign, right? So if we put our trine down there, here's Sag is fire, Aries is fire, and Leo is fire. So that's going to mean you're going to have kind of a nice relationship to that Galactic Center. You're going to be more comfortable with it. You may enjoy those gut feelings and that kind of thing. So remember, so that's always true whenever anything is in the same element. So like Capricorn is Earth, so Taurus and Virgo is going to be smooth flowing energy. Now Sag is mutable, so we're just here. I'm just going to get rid of this horizon line for right now. So if we've got our square set up, and sorry about the distortion, but best I can do with my camera. So we're looking for the quality or modality. Each one of that word means the same thing. So mutable. So Pisces is mutable, Gemini is mutable, Virgo is mutable. So here we're getting the opposition and then the two squares on either side. Same thing here. If you've got planets 25 to 0 of that next cardinal sign of all these, you're going to feel this Galactic Center, but maybe you might feel it more like this bolt that comes in and kind of overwhelms you and kind of maybe, scares you a little or messes you up a little. But just remember, that to go with that gut feeling of yours, and you're going to be okay. All right, so I think that's enough for this class. And just remember, from there to here, from here to there, Funny things are everywhere. Bye. See you next time. We'll talk about progress charts and all sorts of fun stuff.